Hello everyone, today we'll be talking about the magical coordinator and shopkeeper of Magia Record, Mitama Yakumo. Now let's get started, shall we? Mitama Yakumo is a 17-year-old magical girl. Her height is 166 centimeters. Mitama's hair color is silver, while her eyes are blue. Mitama comes from Daisho Ward in Kamehama City. Her soul gem is a blue X-shaped gem located on her hair as a hair ribbon. Her weapon is her gloves. Mitama's witch and doppel is Totentaz. Her known relatives is her sister, Mitama Yakumo, who is also a magical girl, but we'll talk about her in her own video. Mitama attends Daisho Academy, but originally attended Mizura Girls' School. She is in 11th grade. Mitama's wish was to become an existence that will destroy Kamehama, though she regretted this wish soon after it was granted. I want to become the existence that destroys Kamehama. Mitama has a rare element as being the void element, and her ability is magical power is adjustment. A magical girl who operates as a coordinator in the outskirts of Kamehama, unable to fight herself, she accepts grief seeds in exchange for items and provides magical adjustments. Though she usually has a sunny disposition and a friendly smile, very few magical girls know her true nature. Doppel of Memento Mori, forewarning, its form is flower petals. The master of this doppel resents her environment and wishes to destroy everything. Her doppel never forgets that death comes to all things equally. It covers everything with dancing flower petals and escorts girls elegantly with its white gloves. Like its master, it isn't able to attack directly, but its power, which is connected to the end of all things, is utterly terrifying. The magic of anything hidden under its flower petals rots away to nothing. The more the master relies on this doppel, the closer her left arm will get to becoming completely one with it. Mitama in the main story of Magia Record is introduced as a coordinator in her shop at the outskirts of Kamehama known as Mitama's Place. She adjusts magical girls' magic by touching their soul gems, though there is a side effect which makes her see the memories of the magical girls. This cannot control. Momoko Togame introduced Mitama to Iroha, and she adjusted Iroha's soul gem to help her fight witches in Kamehama. The characters of Magia Record, along with other magical girls, are shown to hang out at Mitama's Place, often when they are with Momoko's team, getting their soul gems adjusted, or there to talk to Mitama. Araka Mariko and Suzuzu Hozumi go to Mitama's place in order to decide what place they should visit next. Araka asks Mitama to draw darts on a map. The darts land on the Japan Trench, a deep area in the Pacific Ocean. When Mitama says they are heading to the bottom of the ocean, Suzuku says she's going to leave. She says that while aimlessly wandering is fine, she doesn't want to be made fun of. A worried Ayaka runs after Suzuku. Mitama thinks that she can understand Suzuku's desire to find a place where she belongs. but in her own case, that place it was stolen from her. Felicia Mitsuki appears, having heard Mitama muttering to herself. She says she's here for an adjustment, but admits that she also wants to know who Mitama is. Mitama shudders a bit and says that it's cooler to be mysterious. Felicia says she wants to know, but Mitama ignores her question. After Mitama thinks Felicia won't give up figuring her out, at Yachito's Nanami's house, Felicia is scolded by Aro Tamaki and Yachito for poking into Mitama's affairs. Felicia asks if they want to know themselves. Yachito admits she is interested, but she won't force it out on Mitama. Iris says they just can't investigate when they have school. Felicia gets an idea and runs off with Sana Futaba. Later on, Mitama is at class and sees Felicia and Sana there. Felicia confirms that Mitama goes to Deishio Academy. Sana is surprised since Mitama usually stays in Shinsei Ward. Felicia says they are going to keep watching to learn more things about Mitama. She says they might find out how to make adjustments themselves. During class, the teacher says Mitama got full marks on her tests again, but is worried about her attendance. Mitama says she doesn't feel like coming much, to the teacher's annoyance. After class, Felicia and Sana try to look into Mitama's bag, but she catches them in the act. Mitama admits she was surprised that they tailed her all the way until lunch. When Felicia says she just wanted to learn about adjusting, Mitama says it's a matter of individual magic and she couldn't teach them anyway. She tells them to go back to their own school after lunch. The two girls leave. Mitama thinks she's been present long enough and she'll leave. Suddenly, a voice calls to her. The voice belongs to Kanagi Izumi, who says she's stopped by that night. Later, at Mitama's place, Kanagi asks if Mitama is alright. Mitama says it's fine. Kanagi says that if people know where Mitama is from, she might get customers looking for her outside her usual place. Mitama says there aren't many magical girls in Deishio at the moment, and she doubts everyone will come all the way to school to see her. She then asks if Kanagi has come for adjustments. Kanagi says she has, but also says she thought Mitama might want someone to practice fighting with. Mitama says that she's finally learned to use her magic outside of adjustment, and says it's just one way Kanagi has helped her. Kanagi says she doesn't need to be thanked, since they're two of the kind. Mitama is glad to hear that, but says it might be dangerous to stay with her. Mitama explains her magic is like a curse. It doesn't work on witches, but it can manipulate the magic of other magical girls. By purposely failing an adjustment, she can destroy an opponent from within. Kanagi says Mitama is unique, but Mitama says she's just an ordinary. Mitama narrates that she's an energetic 17-year-old who grew up in Deishio, attends Deishio Academy, barely attends school, and always gets a perfect score on her test. Later, Felicia hangs a sign at Mitama's place. It asks for information on Mitama, saying that Felicia will pay in Dragon Ball Band's Hermit stickers, a reference to the famous manga and anime Dragon Ball. Mitama arrives and says she can just take down the poster, but finds it cute. After Felicia leaves, Tsuko Amane and Tsusaka Amane arrive. Mitama nearly calls the two Tutti Frutti sister, which annoys the twins. Mitama admits she picked it up from the other people to the twins. Surprise and disappointment. The twins then say they are there to see how Mitama was doing, saying they heard people are sniffing around her area. The twins then notice the poster when they see Felicia made it. Tsuko says she feels even more worried. Mitama says it's fine, but Tsuko says there are some people who remember Mitama at Mizuno's academy. Mitama acknowledges that Tsuko used to be her classmate. Tsuko says she still remembers what happened and asks if Mitama wants to stop Felicia. Mitama instead asks if Tsuko believes in the story that the literary magazine printed. When Tsuko says she doesn't, Mitama says it's fine as long as there are people who believe in her. However, she then asks Tsuko a favor. At Mizuno Girls Academy, the students discuss a incident from 2 years ago whose predecessor supposedly cursed the school. As Tsuko watches, she thinks back to Mitama's favor. Mitama asked her to spin the story itself, to prevent it from being altered. Tsuko hopes the gossip ends quickly and admits she added a small embellishment of her own. Manaka Kurumi goes to Rena Ami in Mayukozu and tells them about the rumor where the school is cursed. Ami says evil spirits are no match for her. Mayu says that Manaka doesn't know the truth because she wasn't enrolled in the academy 2 years ago. Rena says it would be easier to explain if they found the literary magazine from that time. Mayu says she knows they keep back issues where the art club keeps its supplies. After reading the magazine, Manaka meets Sana and gives her a bento. This appears to be a daily occurrence for them. Manaka says Sana if she has heard about the rumors about Mitama. When Sana says she hasn't, Manaka explains that Mitama used to be a student at Mizuno, but withdrew before Manaka or Sana enrolled in the academy. Manaka explains what she read in the magazine, but says she can't really believe it because it sounds too miraculous. Sana says Felicia has been investigating Mitama and worries if that's why the rumor is spreading. Later, Momoko Togame defends Mitama from a familiar. Afterwards, she asks if Mitama will take down the poster. However, Mitama finds it cute. When Momoko still shows concern, Mitama asks if Makoto really believes she pushed it down a classmate is hated. Momoko says she believes in the jester she knows. Mitama says Momoko is being vulgar, but thanks her for her kindness. Mitama then admits that event forced her to return to Deishio, though there was no ill will. Mitama narrates that where she grew up, she was famous for her beauty and intelligence, and attended Mizuno until there was that certain incident. Later, Yachicho and Iroha bring Felicia to Mitama in order to make her apologize. Sana is there too to apologize. In a flashback, Sana tells Yachicho that she learned Tsuko was asked by Mitama to spread the rumor in Mizuno. Felicia says she didn't want Mitama to suffer. Yachicho scolds her while Iroha says they went too far. Iroha decides they should go to apologize to Mitama together. Back in the present, Mitama tells them not to worry about it. However, Felicia gives her a ball-stained sticker as the apology. After Mitama accepts it, she says that even later, Mitama asks with Kanagi and says things have sorted themselves out. Kanagi says Mitama can't be too optimistic. Mitama says it's fine because only Kanagi knows her true self. She admits if she didn't have Kanagi, she would have known peace. The story flashes back to 2 years ago. Mitama narrates that she's always been skilled at sports and academics. In elementary school, she took Mizuno's middle school entry exam and won a free tuition. However, there were several people at Mizuno who looked down on Mitama due to her origins. Mitama spent 2 years trying to change the perfections of her hometown. During her 3rd year, a girl Mitama thought was a friend tried pushing her down the stairs. Mitama dodged it, but bumped it into another classmate who fell down the stairs instead. Mitama admits she wasn't sure exactly what happened, but the school newspaper and literary magazine distorted the incident. Mitama was encouraged to leave the school voluntarily. When Mitama returned to Daishio, she only found scold from her other students, saying that she's a disgrace to Daishio. Mitama was bullied for hurting the district's reputation. When a student says she feels bad for Mitama's younger sister, Mitama snaps. She yells at the student for putting her on the penitential, stabbing her in the back, and threatening her family. She then wields a fire extinguisher, but is stopped by Kanagi. Kanagi tells Mitama not to give up. Kanagi then says the students are less than trash because they don't judge based on individual merit. She says them not to base their own value on someone else. The students leave and Kanagi welcomes Mitama back. Mitama thanks her. Later, Mitama tells Kanagi she feels empty and only has a hatred in her. Kanagi says that Mitama Kamehama is rapidly developing during boom time, and Mitama should resent its history, not its people. Mitama says that words and actions come from people, so of course she has to hate them. Kanagi says they are being manipulated by history, taking its relics into themselves, and losing their sense of self. Kanagi asks Mitama not to resent them, but Mitama thinks she can't be satisfied by that. On a rooftop, Mitama yells out her frustrations, saying she hates everyone. It is then that Kyubei arrives. When Kyubei offers her a contract, Mitama wonders if she's gone crazy. Kyubei says she's sane, and if she makes a wish, she'll find out if she's crazy herself. Convinced, Mitama makes her wish. I want to become the one that destroys Kamehama. Back in the present, Kanagi says she was surprised Mitama became a magical girl. Mitama says she couldn't even fight a familiar back then. Kanagi wonders if it was because of Mitama's resentment, or because her soul gem darkened quickly. Mitama says she was saved by Kanagi's support. Kanagi admitted she didn't think Mitama would survive. Since there weren't that many witches in Kamehama at the time, Mitama says she planned resentment in the land herself, thinking go die at people. It's then revealed Mitama was saved by someone she calls Sensei, who was the same person Mitama was taught her own how to adjust as a way to survive. Mitama apologizes for getting Kanagi caught up in remembering. Kanagi says it reminds her of her initial resolution. Just as Mitama wanted to destroy the city, Kanagi thought that history must be erased. Because of their similarity, Kanagi says her spirit stirred again. Kanagi says she'll see Mitama the next day at school, but Mitama says she isn't going that day. Kanagi tells her to not overlook herself. Mitama narrates that she wished to destroy the city out of resentment, but because she began adjusting and seeing the memories of others, it feels like her hatred is disappearing bit by bit, but due to everyone's kindness. Mitama says that even if she regrets it, she can't run from her wish. Mitama possesses the ability to enhance other magical girls through their soul gems, making them much stronger, which has made her both popular and necessary in Kamehama City. She was taught this skill by Livia Medeiros, who she refers to as Sensei, who was also the one who taught Konami Izumi to control her powers. As a way to get by due to her lower number of witches and her inability to fight when she had contracted, as this ability gives her discreet access to girls' souls, she is also able to view their memories. This side effect is out of her control. As revealed in Swimsuit Homura's side story, Mitama's adjustment magic also gives her the ability to modify or change the outfits of other magical girls entirely. Her natural ability, granted by her wish, is destructive in nature. She has learned to use her ability of tempting into magical girls' powers, which had presumably been unstable against witches, offensively by pending her magic into her enemy and destroying them from within. She describes this as deliberating failing her usual protector, and her power as similar to a curse. She has also learned to enchant cloth with magic to use as a weapon, and is currently strong enough to hold her own battle. She is still primarily relies on customers to bring her grief seeds. Mitama's last name means 8 in cloud, while her first name, Mitama, means honored soul. It's basically translated to ancestor spirit. Yakumo, meanwhile, is a famous poem, like Ira's name is said to be literally the first poem in Japanese ever written, by Susanoo himself no less. Extremely roughly talented, it goes. From 8 rising clouds, I built a wondrous 8-fourth fence in Izumo to contain my divine bride. A wondrous 8-fold fence. Fact 1. Mitama reveals her age during the We Passed That First of That Day event, where she says that she's only 17 years old after being told that she's like a mother to all magical girls in Kamihama. Fact 2. Mitama has been shown in multiple side stories to be a horrible cook and incompetent enough with knives to be a danger to those around her. She appears to be oblivious to this. Totentaz, which means Dance of the Dead, is either a reference to Dance Macabre or a classical symphony. Fact 4. She shares a voice actress with Tsubasa Haneka and Tart. Fact 5. As I said in Fact 4, now let's talk about more of Mitama's voice actor and English VA. Mitama's Japanese voice actor is Yui Horie. She voiced the characters in the Shaman King series, those being Lily, Iron Maiden Jean. She is also the voice of Chie Satonaka in Persona 4 in the anime and games Serena Kuznetsov Eve in the Civil Guard series. Mitama's English voice actor is Dawn M. Bennett, who has voiced Frina Reese in Attack on Titan, Karen Karatani, and additional voices in Hinata Logic from Locking Logic, and Shizu Asawa in That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. And so we end off Mitama Yakumo's info. I hope you enjoyed. Next Magical Girl will be going over the anime twins in their own separate parts, starting off with Tsukuga Amane. Now, once we are done with the sisters, we will be moving on to the side story Magical Girls, as since I am unfamiliar with Arc 2 of Magical Record, I will not be going over them until their info has been fully completed for me to make a video on them. Anyways, that is all for now. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.